Y'all, it's your man Hanley from On the Line With. We're on episode 127 of Car Chats. Today we got Spade The Shadow coming on. As always, Diamonds Rising is our sponsor. Got the hat on, the bucket on today. But for some reason, Spade's got some sort of inside man with delivery system in Canada, and I got a package he sent me within like 12 hours, so it was, or maybe 15, but it's still crazy that we got it that fast. So shout out to Spade. He's about to be in the moment. Hope everyone's having a good day. I broke my toe yesterday, so I'm in fucking pain. Yo, what's going on, bro? Got that new Spade merch he sent me. You know, got it quick as hell because he's got an inside man, like I said. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
Yo. So we got to know how you got this inside man at Canada Post. Yeah,
Yo, gee, that tripped me out, man. When you said that,
I
I
was fucking.
literally started
I was
laughing.
waiting for something else, so I thought it was that one. So I went down. And I'm like, okay, word. And then I look at it, and I'm like, Ontario. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, there's no way.
Holy B. Yeah, because I sent that like in the afternoon yesterday, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
it wasn't even like a full 24 hours. It was like less than that, like 15, maybe 18 hours.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
shit was
That was
crazy, bro.
man putting in work. Man putting in work.
Yeah,
You
there
know,
it goes.
respect to whoever that was, man. You know what I mean?
That guy is that guy is working for his pension, dog.
Yeah, I'll tell you something though, yo. If I had a link, up in the mail service like that,
Yeah,
there'd be probably other shit going on. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure,
Not
for
just a shirt.
sure. But so before we jump into anything, why don't you introduce yourself for everybody who's not watching and everyone that is watching, so they have an idea who it is, what you're doing, and where you're
Yes,
at.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's Spade. I'm Spade. Everybody calls me Spade the Shadow. My artist name, however, is just Spade. Um, Other people call me the Shadow Man. Some people call me Spade the Shadow. And I'm from the greater Toronto area. So I'm from Vaughan or York Region, or, if you even want to get specific, I'm from Woodbridge, which might surprise some people actually. Yeah, but I grew up, in and around the city, going to the city a lot as I was a kid. Had a lot of family around like Rexdale area, a lot of friends in that area, Jane and Finch
Shout out
area.
Ref
Um,
and Jane and Finch, bro. I was just had a conversation about all like the old school fucking music that was coming out of there back in the day with
yeah,
Big's
yeah.
Grills the other day. Those were good times. It was a whole different world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
And yeah, man, my music is just boom bap music, dark boom bap music, at the moment. And I'm just getting into it. Just dropped my first EP, Last of a Dying Breed. It's out on all platforms. And yeah.
so have you only just gotten recently into making music then?
Uh, I've been making music my entire life
Yeah.
actually. I've only really recently started getting more serious about it. I've done a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well, like growing up. And I've been rapping since I would have to say like it started when I was about 12 years old.
What changed to make you take it so seriously as of late?
Well, it was a shift in the era. It just became more accessible for me to make music. For a long time, it was a dream for me to have like a CD in a store or just any kind of music for someone to buy or listen to out there on the market. Now that I was able to, pay for the distribution and put it out there, I was like, now's the time. And I was procrastinating it for a long time. Some stuff happened in my life that kind of held me back, hurt my confidence a bit. I was going through it, as we all do. But when I decided to do it, it was 2020. The pandemic had just kind of happened.
Yeah.
I got laid off from a job I was working at. I was working as a social media coordinator. And I just got laid off. They were laying everybody off, and I was like, yo, it's kind of now or never, you know?
Yeah. So you make your hip hop. You say it's like more of like a dark kind of tone towards it. Like what makes you choose the dark tone in your music rather than just? I mean, it's boom bap, but I mean there's a dark tone and dark element to it. What makes you? What's the dark element add to it for you?
Um, well, it's a reflection of what I've been going through more recently, you know what I'm saying? So it's really my life and what I've been through, the form it takes, and it has been a dark recent 12 years. I've gone through cycles in life as everyone has, and I think it's ironic that right now I'm repeating a cycle in my life of first.
Oh, well, I don't think we froze. Just give it a second, y'all. I hope it comes back. Oh, we're back. I think we're back.
That,
Yeah, I think you're
you
back now,
sure?
bro.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah, yeah, you're back now. All right, you're on. You're not frozen anymore.
I
I
we
hate the
back
internet.
up. Yeah, man. Yeah, Wi-Fi, phones, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, like you said, it's based off you going through different cycles in your life. So, do you feel like the tone might change when you get through this this phase that you're going through?
Definitely. Like I was saying, I kind of already went through it, but the music that's coming out was stuff that was like pent up for a long time. So my art now is like you're gonna see aggression. So the first EP that I released, my most recent, it is extremely dark, graphic. It's like a rated R movie. There is a more brighter song in there. It's a track called Blessed, with my friend Paula and produced by Alja, who works a lot with Lunchroom Poets. Um,
Yeah,
but it's really gets into like the hardest parts of life, and when you get tested and when you have to face yourself, which is also feeds into why I call myself the Shadow, why I have that song name, and why I've been called the Shadow Man.
yeah. And did you initially just start as Spade and then the Shadow moniker just ended up attached to it, or was that always part of it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, I've always kind of been enamored with like darkness and shadows and all that stuff, but it wasn't part of my name until I needed it to use it as.
Oh, fuck, we lost him again. I think you're back.
My back now? Okay.
Yeah, my bad,
Yeah.
bro. I don't know what the fuck on today. My toe's broken. The internet's broken. This whole fucking day sucks.
God damn, man.
The
You
thing,
see, that's why, man.
the
That's
only
like
good
my
shit.
music. Yo, dope, dope, dope. That actually looks sick, man.
Here we go. And when
Respect, man.
the other
Respect.
stuff,
I hope you like what I'm
oh,
saying.
bro, the shit's dope, bro. It's very fucking and it's good quality merch too. So anybody that doesn't have any merch, go holler at you, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. www.spadetheshadow.com. And yeah, I got a lot of merch, a lot of designs up there. I wanted my stuff to be more high quality stuff, so it is a little bit more pricey than your average merchandise, but it's well worth your money. It's all printed on Champion
Yeah,
stuff, and like that same shirt that you're wearing, I've had a couple of my friends have it, and like I've washed it a million times too, and it's the printing is good, like
yeah,
it's good quality
yeah.
stuff, you know.
Comfortable, bro. It's very comfortable stuff too. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's dope. So is this piece that's on this shirt? That's from your album, right? Your most recent project, isn't it?
That is from the single Move Past. So it's from the single, like the cover art for the single,
What
which is
choose that? Did you specifically want to choose that art for for your merch, or did you just decide on that while you were dropping the record you were dropping?
Well, I knew I wanted to make a piece of merch that was associated with the song. But I kind of just let it flow and come to me. I wanted to see what the cover art design was going to be. I gave the artist a bunch of my ideas, like a collage of ideas I had, and he made it up. It's an artist from Italy. His name is Muff is Hot. Uh,
That's
and he
dope.
killed it. It's surrealist stuff, you know?
Yeah. And with that the first EP that you dropped, how was the response to that for like finally taking it serious? How did you feel when you like from the response? Was it what you expected? Was it more? Was it less?
It was a lot more actually than I expected. I got a lot of love from all over the place, and not only in the online community, I actually got it more in like real life, going to different cities because I was traveling, performing, promoting my EP, and a lot of people checked it out and messaged me on the ones like, "Hey, I checked your EP and all that." But a lot of people I know don't use social media, so it's hard to gauge who's engaging with my content.
Yeah.
They'll maybe see it quick, but they're scrolling. They're not really interacting. So my fan base is kind of weird like that, but they're dope, man. They really came through for this, and it's my first project. Really, I'm just a guy by myself. I really got no game, um, and, and started it really from nothing, just me and my engineer, and it was amazing.
And so after the initial project you released, what do you have a project in the works for the for this year at all? Or are you waiting until 2024 to come in? Or
So I want to release another project as soon as possible. It just depends on when I have everything perfect because really music to me is more an art form. That's how I interact with it anyways. So I really want to take my time to get my message across properly and have everything lined up perfectly before I drop it. But I do have Last of a Dying Breed Volume 2 and 3 both in the works. And it's a trilogy and it is a story. So there's the darker part now. Part 2 is going to get a little bit brighter, I want to say, a little bit more
so
aggressive,
what? My bad. What was that? Go ahead.
a little brighter, a little bit more aggressive on the second one.
And you feel what kind of like when you have people listen to your music, what kind of message do you want them to take away from Spade?
I want them to take away a message of strength and resilience. I want them to know that everybody in life goes through it. Nowadays, nobody wants to admit that. They don't want to look at the ugly side of life and say, yeah, everybody wants to be a perfect person and, celebrity status and have the brand name clothes and, but the average person, even people you don't think are going through it are going through it. And everybody fights a battle every day. And that's kind of what I want to highlight is to shed a little bit of light on what's really going on with people. It is the future. We got all this amazing technology around us, but it's supposed to free us instead of shackle us, and it's supposed to elevate our happiness instead of hold it back. And that's kind of my whole theme, is, dealing with life and stepping into this new age, which we all are together.
Yeah. And so you feel like the next project's going to be a little less dark, but still like an aggressive feel to it.
Yeah,
That's how you're aiming for it.
yeah, yeah. Again,
So
I'm
still
telling my story.
a boom
Yeah,
bap wave again.
so, yeah, yeah, definitely boom bap. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna have any kind of trappy singles, to be honest. That kind of music really doesn't really hit me too hard. Um, yeah.
And who some of the people you worked with on your last project? Did you have a lot of collabs on it? Because I checked most of the project, but I don't remember all the collabs. I don't remember like the list that I had written down of them. How many collabs were on that project?
So with artists, I didn't have any other artists on that project. It's just me rapping, but I had a good list of producers on there. I had Imperative, who I don't know if he's still up in here, but I saw him here. He's here. Yo, salute Imperative. Um, Great dude, very helpful dude, knowledgeable guy, ill with the beats. He's got some crazy tunes out with some dope artists. Roberts is in here too.
Yeah.
They just dropped Shamrock on the Machine Guns. I caught that, support the man them. Crazy album. Uh, I also had a beat again. I was mentioning by Alja, who works with Lunchroom Poets, Young Stitch, and those
Yeah.
guys.
Instant
Great group of
back.
people. Oh, word. Yeah, yeah. Great group of people, man. I met Stitch a couple times on road. And he's a good dude.
We started we started making music around the same time.
Word.
Met you in MySpace days.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of when I started dropping tunes, but I wouldn't even classify it like that because it was just rapping over other people's beats. You know what I mean? I take a Nas beat, rap over it, make a song over it. But that's what everybody was doing back then, right?
Jacking for we're jacking for beats those days, man.
Yeah, yeah. I had a couple mixtapes in those days. Again, mixtapes, burned CDs, where I tracked over those beats. And I was making those from when I was 15. I had two when I was 15. One was and then I had two or three when I was in my later teens. I was about 17, 18. And those I had some tracks up on MySpace and all that stuff.
And with that recent release of the Last of a Dying Breed project, how was like so overall the response has been good? Has it been steady, continuing like with the numbers, or is it slowed down? How do you feel it's been?
Well, it was going like it slowed down a bit after the initial release. It was going good for the first 2 months. It was like up there, high numbers, and then it dipped down a little bit. But now it's steady, and I have more listeners than before. But that's strictly speaking like Spotify. Then there's Apple Music, and there's all this other stuff like that. All my other friends use. I know someone uses Amazon Music and like has my stuff.
Yeah,
Hates that a lot.
bro.
I don't know.
You
You
know
know what
what,
I mean?
man? Yeah, we keep cutting out like big time, bro. I don't know if it's my side or your end, and like I don't know if people are gonna be able to hear this conversation. So I don't know if we just can make a second part to this conversation.
Yeah,
I just I don't
maybe.
want to. I don't want to cut you off, but I also don't want people just watching us just keep lagging and shit. If it's just fucking like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I,
like, I'm
I,
not. I know
I
for a couple weeks and shit, and I'm not trying to interrupt it right now, but like, I want to be able to give you like the proper platform and proper conversation I would give anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, I try to be equally involved with everyone. I'm not trying to like hold up. It looks like it's all right now, so let's try for a couple more minutes. But if it does come to the part that we have to like cut it and then just do a second part in a couple days or something, bro, then let's just do something like that if you're available. I don't want to cut you off
yeah,
though, so by no means I'm cut you off or anything, bro, because I'm interested in the story. You know, I'm interested in I'm interested in hearing more about Spade because really I thought it was Spade the Shadow. I thought the full name was Spade the Shadow. I didn't know it was just
well,
Spade. So at least now I know what to put on the next flyer.
no, it's all good, man. I mean, that's the moniker. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like even Spade. I didn't even choose that for myself. Like other people chose that kind of for me. When I was younger, they're like, oh, everybody, you have a very common name. Everybody has your name. Your name is Spade. We'll call you Spade. And I was like,
You share
my older cousins, friends, and stuff.
your name with Spade from Citizen Kane. So
Yeah. And I mean, coincidentally, when I was out there selling my first mixtapes, when I was like 15, 16, that was like 2005, 2006. I'm pretty sure that's when he retired. And I
yeah, yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah, I think he retired a little earlier than that. I think it was more around 2002 he'd stopped, but I think he was still doing behind the scenes stuff
Yeah,
because he was doing a lot of work with Chaos. Like I had him on like a few weeks back there, but yeah, he was definitely still in the scene. I mean, they just dropped the whole rap-umentary about him at the other day
Hmm.
last week, 22nd at Toronto University about his b-boy days and shit. Like he was really in it, like in every element almost, man. Like so, I mean, that's like that in a sense to me. Like most people will be like, "Oh, he has the same name." I'm like, that's kind of dope, bro. He shares it with an OG. You know, if the OG's not complaining,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a funny story about that. The whole thing was I saw his interview on your page and I was like, oh, yo, it's Spade. It's like OG Spade. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I gotta check this. I gotta like kind of hear this guy's interview. For a long time when I was younger, people would always tell me, "Oh, there's an older Spade in Toronto, but he don't rap no more. But you're lucky you don't rap no more." And I was like, "Oh, what?" And I'm like, "Yo, I gotta find this guy. I gotta like, you know what I mean? Because he's like the OG too. He was probably in my older cousin's age. And
yeah,
everybody back in those days in Toronto, they were really doing it. They were like an indie label. I remember the Raising Kane rap-umentary
yeah,
when that came out. I actually watched that back a little before their event, and I was like, yo, and I'm not really like I've only started taking social media really serious in these last couple of years. So I was like, oh, let me find this guy on social media. So I went, seen your interview and whatever, and I was like, oh, I sent him a message like, yo, salute, like I'm Spade too, but like no disrespect, but I had to like salute the OG
yo,
Spade, because everybody,
OG
and
Spade.
it's
I'm
just
young Spade.
is that yeah, and it's just crazy that how he retired right before I started, how their name was Citizen Kane, and they're super into film and like activism and showing like the rough side of life. And like I kind of I'm all into that too,
Yeah,
but I didn't even really know. I kind of did that on my own. Now finding out that there's a like-minded dude from Toronto named Spade, it kind of blew my mind a little bit. You know what I mean? And that was only kind of more recently that I found out who this guy actually is through the internet, and
yeah.
it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I'm glad I'm kind of helping put Spade back on a little bit because people don't mention him enough.
Yeah, legit, legit. I want to give the dude his flowers. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. How'd you just what made you decide on the name Spade? Was it already a nickname you had from others, or did you just
Yeah, yeah. People just call me Spade around the way. Again, my cousin's friends were like, "Yo, everybody has your name. Yo, your name. You're gonna call you Spade." So I was just Spade. And then I started rapping, so I went by Spade. And then when I needed to make a Facebook name, back in those days, I was like, "Yo, I don't want to be on Facebook and the internet and da da da." So I just put my name Spade The Shadow, And then when I started getting known online, like doing freestyles and whatnot, people started saying, "Oh, yo, that's Spade the Shadow." So that's how it became. And I had a song called Shadow Man as well.
yeah?
So obviously that
It's
didn't help the case.
kind of it gives you an
Yeah,
eerie vibe.
yeah, yeah. Like obviously, like I love Halloween. That's my shit, And the shadow, really, what I was referring to was like the Jungian shadow of like the shadow of yourself, like the evil side of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what I was hearkening to.
People who don't know who Carl Jung is, they're gonna think his last name starts with a Y.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
you like
Jung, the Jung. Yeah.
they're like, you mean Carl Jung? You're like, no. You uneducated.
That's I was just gonna say, like, yo, you gotta read, you gotta pick up some books, man. You know?
They're like, oh, don't worry, I read Sun Tzu. I'm like, it's not the same shit, B. Like,
It's a lot
that's
of people don't read these days.
educating and that kind of stuff, though, bro. Because a lot of people like they maintain focus on one singular thing, and they don't like to broaden their view on like some of that shit. Like you can find like so much inspiration from those like old writings and things from people like Carl Jung and shit like that, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, people say that the key to the future is in the past, right? And a lot of great people in history have learned from their predecessors and making their decisions. A lot of great people, you know.
So did you take a lot of inspiration from Carl Jung besides just that track you just mentioned? Did you take a lot of his readings or a lot of his writings and stuff in the account when you made that last project?
That was mostly just like his concept of the shadow, but also a bit of his stuff on dreams, and I would say I kind of worked that into like the surrealism. Um, I mean, I talk a lot about movies, and in my rhymes, I'll compare myself to like a monster or a ghost, or I'll make a canvas, and my rhymes are as abstract as they have meaning, if that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
definitely. So what are some like you bring up Carl Jung, but who are some other like inspirations like similar to that style of inspiration that you have? 'Cause that's interesting. You don't hear a lot of rappers be bringing up Carl Jung and shit.
Yeah, I mean, off the top, like Friedrich Nietzsche, he's written a lot of interesting things. Um, I mean, I haven't read his books, but I've read a lot of his work in university.
Yeah,
Him and Jung specifically, along with like Descartes, just a lot of concepts of self, where we stand in the universe, the unknown. Um, it just intrigues me,
yeah.
right?
So,
Carl Sagan and stuff like that too, but that's a whole other topic, like astronomy and science and that kind of thing.
but like I said, it's dope that you bring like different aspects from different like educational values into the music. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're not, you're entertaining people, but you're probably teaching them some shit at the same time too.
Well, I'd hope so. I'd hope so. That's how I learned about a lot of stuff was rappers would talk about something and I'd be like, that sounds interesting. I'd go Google it or I'd go back in the day, I'd go to the library and just see what books had titles of words these guys were talking about. That's how I learned about a lot of ancient conquerors and stuff like that was like Genghis Khan, when you God said, yo, like leaving bodies in the Caucasus Mountains. I was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? And subjects come up and I was like, oh, yo, you God was talking about like some ancient conqueror, like it's crazy, but there's all these gems scattered throughout hip hop, so it's always been related, but I don't think a lot of people really see that side of it.
Yeah, I think it's all really based on just words, and it's so much deeper than just words.
If you really study rap and the lyrics that some people say, even a line that's like, yo, I'm like this or I'm like that. Like when I say, yo, I'm the shadow man, right there, that's a Carl Jung. Like people who know that philosophy, they'll kind of understand it. Then they see the artwork, see the track names, hear the vibe of the album. Then they're like, oh, okay, I see what this guy's saying here.
Yeah. So, and you have you have a record dropping with B1 and Nathan Nathan Skulls and Lizeppo,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. All those guys are crazy lyricists. Um,
B
And yeah, man,
fire.
B1, that's B1's track.
He's been on
Yeah.
fire lately.
Yeah, I just seen he was dropping track after track, freestyle videos. The man can rhyme, the man can rhyme and he can make beats. He made the beat on the track as well, Sky Falling.
Yeah, and he shoots videos. He fucking sound engineers, bro. The
Yeah.
man is multifaceted in like every sense of the fucking word, in every sense of that like compliment. Like he is very, very talented dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why like we kind of gravitated to each other. We kind of been knowing each other online a bit for a while. Again, I dabble in the filmmaking. I'm not an engineer, but I do production as well, rhyming and all that stuff. So we kind of just clicked, and he was like, "Yo, I got a track I need you on." So I was like, "All right, no doubt, man. Let's do it up."
Coming out Friday, right?
This Friday drops on all platforms. Pre-save link is out. If you ain't pre-saved it, check out link in my bio. Pre-save that. All my shit is in my bio too. It's a big link tree type of shit, right? So,
So before the music, like what did Spade want to be when he grew up? What was your career idea like when you were younger?
so I always wanted to be. like a director or a writer, um, or like I didn't really know. I think I wanted to be like a singer, or like a rocker or something like that. I didn't really understand music. I wanted to
After
be
hearing
like
your last,
uh,
if I hear you start singing after that last project, I don't know, bro. I'm gonna be on like a whole other spectrum and shit. My head's gonna fuck.
yo, that's the yo, you never know. You never know what can happen, man.
Fuck,
I won't,
spade
I'll never say never.
the spade the green room. Shit.
Yo, man, if I could sing, I would be on some like Silk Sonic,
Yeah.
Anderson .Paak, Bruno Mars type of shit, man. That's what I would be on.
Throwing a little old school funk and shit. It's good.
Yeah,
So
that's my shit, man. That's my shit.
hell yeah. Uh, did you ever try like did you try singing first? Did you try like any of that before you tried rapping or like?
I I used to sing along with like old like rock tracks and shit. My pops is like a rocker from the '60s. He came here when he was young, when he was like 12 years old. He's very influenced by the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin and Metallica and Iron
Yeah.
Maiden. So I used to sing along stuff, but funny enough, a lot of soca music as well. Because
Hold
Indian. My dad is Guyanese and my mom is Trinidadian. So
Yo,
I
I've been
hear soca records,
on
reggae
you, bro.
albums. Sorry?
I've been had on the show lately, bro. Like, I don't know what it is. I guess ever since I let everybody know, like, my best friend since like diapers was Trinidadian and shit. Everyone just heard it and they're like, "Yo, I'm jumping on the show, B."
We all been, yeah, we all did. You know what I'm saying? We gravitated, man.
Yeah, for sure. That's dope, though. I love that shit, bro. So you said your mom's Trinidadian. What side? Where's your dad from?
Uh, he's from Guyana.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
Yeah,
Trinidadian. Okay, that's dope. That's cool, bro.
yeah,
Um, so and you were born and raised, stayed in Toronto, the GTA area your whole life.
yeah. My whole life I've been here.
You,
I mean, I've been to Guyana and Trinidad both. When I was younger, but just like vacation for a couple weeks, see where my parents grew up and stuff. My dad's house is still in Guyana. Like my grandma goes there every winter, right? So that's pretty cool.
that's dope. And if you had anywhere else like you could think of like to make music right now, do you have any other city that you'd want to be to make music? Anywhere doesn't matter.
Uh, I don't know, man. Maybe New York. Like everywhere I'm gonna say is probably mad oversaturated. I would say maybe Amsterdam, somewhere in the UK or
So
something. You know what I mean?
that
In Europe, yeah,
bro is fucking crazy. If you could tap into the UK market, bro, it's fucking
yeah.
definitely a money spot.
And they love that real raw hip hop out in
Yeah,
Europe. They love that. I've been getting a lot of love from like Paris, Rancha and G's on. They got that Rancha mix that comes out every Thursday. They play a lot of dope artists, a lot of artists from our city too, which is crazy. Like they be showing love up there, man.
yeah, they do. They got a lot of love for like hip hop artists in Canada and the States, bro. Like
Yeah.
I don't. I haven't. I've never seen so many artists get accepted into the like UK network until like the last like fucking 7 to 10 years. Like obviously people have done it and they've toured way before like social media and shit was really popping. But I mean like the last 10 years, people have been really like in their bag and like in the UK and shit like that. It's crazy to see.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think people really do their own thing other than trying to follow like the pop top 40 wave. Um, and they weren't as comfortable in the UK. They didn't know that market was there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that people say like you never know who's listening. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Everyone wants someone important to hear their shit, but like it doesn't always have to be in like in the same place.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what? I lost my train of thought because I just got a sharp pain from my broken toe, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, this fucking toe, bro.
How'd you break your toe?
Man, I was walking and I smashed it on one of those old school fucking like hardwood recliners,
Yeah.
like those ones like those motherfuckers, like the ones wrapped in plastic, like those fucking shits, bro. I hit it, and like when you hit your toe so hard that you get mad at yourself,
Yeah.
like, bro,
Oh,
I did
oh,
that, and I forgot to look at my toe after I did it. I just threw on my socks and shit, and I started walking around. I'm like, bro, this don't feel right. And then I took my sock off later after my interviews yesterday. I look at my foot; it's like black, blue, purple, fucking like 3 times its size. I'm like, bro, fuck.
shit, dude.
Yeah,
Well, goddamn, man.
I fuck
Hope
with
it gets better soon.
what's that?
Hope it gets better soon.
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm trying to walk this fucking puppy I have. It's so hard to fucking walk him because he's like chasing squirrels and shit.
You got to get one of those wheels. You know what I'm saying? You ever see people with the wheel?
Yeah. I'm gonna start walking around like just like a child, a newborn baby. Fuck it. I
Shit,
can't
dude.
put a diaper on him until I can walk again. But so, you have any plans on like how's the performing circuit been for you? Have you gotten a lot of performances since you started taking it serious?
Yeah, before I was doing a couple performances as well. When I had like those SoundCloud projects, I was doing shows. I disappeared for a bit, so when I popped up again, I think some people saw me and were like, "Yo, Spade, where you been? Come out, perform." So I'm very thankful just for people knowing me and taking notice. And I was very taken back that people even remembered me, to be honest.
That's like me now when people remember that I rapped and shit. That happened at the
Yeah.
festival. People are like, "Oh, yo, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a minute." I'm like, "Bro, it's been a lot longer than a minute."
Mhm.
Like, but that's dope, bro. Like, I mean, it's always love when people like remember like that you were there, for a time where like it was like I said, it was different worlds, bro.
Yeah,
It's
legit, man. It really was.
mentioned into a whole other fucking like totally different fucking multiverse. I feel like there's another rapper me, but he's like a trap rapper.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing that too. I came out with two projects, one called Light Side, one called Dark Side. Light Side was more like top 40-ish inspired stuff, so trappy kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And then the Dark Side was the more boom bap. People felt Dark Side more. A lot of people kind of got a little angry with me about Light Side and what I was doing there. They were like, "Yo, man, that's not you. That ain't what we want." So I was like, "All right, man. It's what the people want." But it also, I feel like it came off maybe a little bit ingenuine.
yeah,
Um, Cause like I'm not really, I don't know, I'm not really in that vibe. I'm more of an older guy. Like I'm in my 30s, you know what I mean? I'm a calmer head. I'm not really like in the clubs. I'm not popping pills and like I'm not dealing with issues that maybe a younger person in that hyped up trap lifestyle would be in.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it's like that nowadays. Like when I meet artists and they're like and they want some help or something, it's like I'm like I want to help you. I just like with this sound, I just don't know where to begin. Like it's just not the sound I'm used to.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's no disrespect to that.
No,
You know
no,
what I mean? It's just,
obviously,
it's a different lane, right? It's a different lane.
yeah, and like obviously I'm willing to help anybody, but I just need to be able to know where I can put the effort into. Like I don't want to just say yeah, jump into it, and then be like, actually, you know what?
Yeah,
I can't do.
yeah. Well, you got to cater to your target audience as well. A lot of times too, I did performances where I kind of mixed both, and like half the audience, like the audience was on a teeter totter, right? Because it wasn't really. It's like going to a hip hop show and then just busting out like a heavy metal band without telling anybody they're gonna be there. It's kind of people are gonna be taken
Yeah,
back. Some people might even leave, right?
yeah.
It is what it is. It's just, you know.
That's one thing I feel like a lot of shit's lacking. Like, not well. I mean, seeing like the people doing their own shows and not this pay to play bullshit that everybody's on. Like
Yeah,
seeing people do that. their own promoting of their own shows that they put together. They're putting together good shows, but like Canada's really lacking like well put together fucking underground hip hop shows and shit these days because like everyone's just trying to like just choke the artist out from every possible angle from like how are you a promoter and you're not selling tickets?
Yeah, yeah, that is a big issue. I mean, the arts in general is hurting after what's going on, and what's happening with our economy and our country. That's a whole other story.
Yeah,
But it's hard to expect people to come out and pay these high prices, like a $60 ticket for a small venue when you know what I'm saying. So it's a big give and take. There's got to be other avenues to pursue. And the shows are great, but like you said, the pay to play stuff, man, it kind of isn't worth it. You know what I mean?
it's
A lot of my friends, like,
respectful to
they
the artists. I feel
don't want,
respectful to the scene actually.
yeah, yeah, it is very detrimental because it makes the scene look bad and it makes it kind of look like a scam, you
And
know.
have to
And I've done it,
have foot
yeah,
and they don't like switch the roles and let's see how many tickets they sell as an artist.
yeah, man,
You know?
yeah. It's kind of weird. Like it's a weird scenario. I was drawn into it to be honest in the beginning because people are like, "Yo, you got to get out there. You got to get your face out there." So I was like, "All right, let me go." And you know what? It did pay off a little bit. I got a little bit of fans. I met some people who were in the
Yeah,
industry, but it was more of a networking thing
yeah,
than it was, because when money gets involved and you got to pay or you got to sell tickets or you got to actually get serious, more serious people come out.
yeah,
So you see who's serious. The people who learn from the scam too, like I've seen people who were in the same scam I was, but they were obviously they were learning like me, and I see them later on, and now they're successful, and they were like, "Oh, I saw you," and they're like, "Yeah, that was bullshit," and I'm like, "Yeah, word."
definitely, bro. And there's like I'm not gonna say anybody's names, but there's a few people out in your ways that are fucking scamming these fucking artists like a motherfucker, bro. And like I see the same post every fucking month, and I'm like, bro, how the fuck are people still doing this shit? Like, if you like, how are they still doing this shit, expecting a different result, and not think that they're insane? Like, do they know
It's
what the
crazy, man.
insanity is? Like, bro,
Yeah,
it blows my fucking mind, bro. Like I look at it and then like I see like there's some promoters that I fuck with in Toronto out there that always comments on it, and not there's there's always one guy who's commenting on it, but I'm not gonna bring it up because right away it's just gonna come down on everybody the same way. Like everyone's gonna just be looked at as a hater, and everyone's obviously gonna gravitate towards the person who's been actually the scammer who's been making the money because he's like, well, look, I actually been making bread off it. Yeah, but you also been killing every fucking artist that you fucking helped put on. Like, like I've never heard anybody paying for like the like the time allotted that they gave artists. I'm like, bro, are you seriously
Mhm.
gonna do like a 2 minute set with fucking like what, like five snippets of every song you can? Like that's fucked up, bro. Like how the fuck are you doing that shit? Like how are you eating? How are you surviving? I hope you have a 9 to 5, motherfucker. Like like
Yeah,
because that's definitely you're paid. You just paid someone's dinner for like a good month.
yeah, dude.
Crazy out there, bro. Um,
There's a lot of desperate artists down here, right? I mean, again, like I was saying, the city is extremely oversaturated. The whole game is oversaturated, man. Again, 60,000 songs a day
that's
released, right? How do you
fucking
stand out?
that's crazy, bro. 60. That's fucking incredible.
I'm pretty sure that's the
Yeah,
stat.
I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more on certain months and shit too. Like the summer, it probably goes even higher.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's an old stat too. So it might even be more now.
All I know is
The accessibility, right?
all I know is Spotify ain't changed. They're still fucking artists the same way.
Yeah, man, it's a crazy problem. Everybody's talking about it, right? How do you reverse this problem? It's really, honestly, in the hands of the fans and the consumers.
Yeah,
The artist has no control over it. We got to do what's best for us. If you want to deny, the new technology and the avenues that came out, it is going to hurt your career. I'll tell you that because I was the guy that was against it for
Yeah,
a long time. And only in 2020, when I embraced it and learned to use the tools, um, that's when I saw success. And to this day, man, I don't really like screwing around with social media. I don't really agree with Spotify, but if I want to be in the game, I gotta play the game. You know, it is a hobby for me, but it's a very serious hobby as well, right? Like my whole living is based in
yeah,
art that does visual effects. That's what my day job is. But even that, like they hired me based on what I was doing on my own, which was my video production company and my music production company. And the proof that I had of that was what I did with my art. And I used that actually on my resume and applied to a whole bunch of, television and film places and music places, which I share with a lot of other artists because I feel like they don't think it's a skill they can put on their resume and go and find a job.
yeah,
If you do social media coordination for yourself, if you do film production for yourself, there's levels to it.
yeah,
That's that's a
yeah.
skill, right?
Yeah, people, I think people when they look at a resume, they feel like they have to actually have already worked in like that position to put it down in like in what they did. But like, bro, like, I'm pretty sure entrepreneurs who have had a business when they end up going to like have a real job for some reason, I'm sure they put down what they did for their own job on their resume.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a stepping stone, right? I figured, yo, if no one like film, especially in music, is a very lucrative industry to just get your foot in the door. But that's all you need.
Yeah,
And I figured if no one's gonna give me a shot, I'm gonna form my own companies and give myself a shot. Then you know what? I'm putting my own companies on my resume that I work for my own company. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And I think people see that and respect that yo, like you took action. You took things into your own hands. Like that's a hustle. That's a real hustle. To
yeah,
grab life by the balls and demand what you want out of it. Not only in doing your hobby or writing what you want to write or whatever, but doing it in real life and making a living off something you're passionate about and actually want to wake up and do every
yeah.
day.
So, uh, with that new single that's dropping with B1, Nathan Skulls and Lizeppo on Friday, do you have any of your own singles dropping shortly or?
Um, no, I'm kind of in a zone of I'm just gonna let the EP simmer. I got a music video coming out
Oh,
though.
okay. And what do you already have? When's that supposed to drop? Do you have an idea when that's dropping? Do you shoot your own stuff too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I don't personally hold the camera because I would kind of be like I'm only one guy, you know what I'm saying? So, but I got my homies, like I'll direct them, and I got my homies. But to be honest, they don't even really need too much direction because they're ill with the camera. Um, I gotta shout my homie out, my homie Mike and my other homie Theron. They helped me shoot this video. And my homie Ink produced the track, and then another name you might know is Distracted. He
Yeah.
did the cuts and scratches on the track, and that's for my song called Pushback.
Okay. And when's that supposed to drop? Force from the North. What's up?
So, yes, sir. Boys, salute. Yo, everybody in the chat, salute, man. I'm seeing names of friends and peers in the chat. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
we
saying? So, yo, salute, big up yourself.
had guest amount coming in for this one. This one's been a good one. Even though the internet's been fucking with us, but I mean it's been good.
Yeah, it's been a good talk, man. The internet is screwy as always, especially with Instagram and running a live
Yeah.
video. You know what I'm saying?
So what that video? When is it dropping, or do you not have a date yet?
Well, I don't have an exact date. I'm hoping mid-October.
Okay, word. So, why don't we pick up around mid-October and talk, before it drops, so that way we could push the video a little more that way, and then we can continue our conversation from there. Hopefully, have a little less fucking internet issues.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, no doubt. No
But
doubt.
I'm glad that you were able to come on today, bro. I know we had it planned for a couple weeks there, so like I'm glad we were able to have it pull through today. And before you go, you want anything you want to say to the people?
Yo, man, if you ain't checked me out already, check me out. Spade the Shadow, all platforms. Google me. Yo, big up everybody in the chat, all my peoples in the chat who came through. Yo, I see y'all. Salute. Big up yourself, man. It's what it is.
I
Spade
appreciate
the Shadow, man.
it. And everybody, like I said, it's episode 127 of Card Chats. We got Spade the Shadow, or just Spade. Now that I know, I could just call him Spade. Young G
Spade the
Spade, not
Shadow. Yeah.
but I'm your man Harry from On the Line with We Got Spade, episode 127. Hope everybody has a good night. I appreciate you, brother. We'll have you on again before that new video drops, and we'll talk about it a little more.
No doubt, no doubt.
Have a good night.
Glad to be on, man. Respect. Peace.